So, welcome to Normandy. We decided to come out here and do a road trip through France after our Paris trip. So we rented a car, and now we're here at the D-Day beaches. The first one is Omaha Beach. It's where the Americans landed. And we're gonna go into the visitor center and also take a look at the American cemetery. And we're gonna take you around to lots of places in France. This is just part one. It's supposed to rain today, so I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to hear me outside. So I wanted to update the vlog here in the car, but it's gonna be an interesting trip for sure.
The future of freedom and democracy was at stake. Jean was 21 years old in June 1944.
We just watched a film that talked about this site and a little bit about D-Day, and they showed some of the stories behind some of the soldiers.
Basically, it was a tearjerker, which really got you in the headspace, I think, to visit the site and really understand what was going on. Also in the visitor center, they have this like museum in the basement. That's where the movie is. And so we're just gonna go through and read a little bit about it and then head out to the cemetery. They have these photos of Paris when it was under occupation. And we went to a lot of these places, so it's really, really wild to see. Get off the boat, keep moving no matter what. Get off the beach no matter how confused the situation. That was the plan. What are you reading about?
How they planned the invasion, and there's Eisenhower over there at the table planning it out.
Over 5,400 assault crafts with 156,000 men were at sea.
Wow.
3 million other soldiers, almost 11,000 aircraft, and a trailing procession of vehicles, equipment, and armament extended to London and beyond.
Oh my gosh. Here's a quote by Churchill. "This vast operation is undoubtedly the most complicated and difficult that has ever taken place." So there was like a lot of planning that went into it. They did a lot of deception. So they did like blow up tanks and cars to make it look like they were set up somewhere else so that Germany was confused from the air. They also had all these drops that they did in different cities with fake parachuters that were called Huberts. And they have one here, which is so cool. And that helped divide the German army so that they weren't all going to the same city. So they would drop a few people, they'd get confused, they'd go over to that. And so this is all part of the D-Day operation so that they could come in and, secure and liberate France.
Here's the blow-up stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Both those.
Yeah, so here's like the blow-up. It's like literally made from air just to confuse like Germany from the skies, which is really interesting.
Yeah, they are.
It's really cool because in this museum, they show like the times that different things happened on D-Day. So you get to walk through the timeline and really understand what happened. These are the listed casualties. So at Utah Beach, which is a different landing site we're going to go to after this, 200. But here at Omaha, 3,000 out of 43,000. I definitely recommend going through the museum at the visitor center. It was really informative and cool. As soon as they landed, it took 3 months though to liberate France and to get to Paris. And 225,000 people died along the way. That's besides D-Day. Anyway, if you haven't seen a vlog of ours before or watched our Arc de Triomphe vlog in Paris, you don't know that Lucas's grandpa was in the Air Force and did D-Day. So as we were going through the museum, we saw the symbol for the division that his grandpa was a part of, and Lucas is going to show you some pictures that his grandpa had in his scrapbook, and so we can show you.
Yeah, there's the symbol, the 9th. Right there.
So that was on Lucas's grandpa's jacket. Okay, so this is Lucas's grandpa, Billy Ray.
Yep.
Okay, that's him in World War II.
There's the plane. I think he must have took this photo because he had a camera. I think he took this photo outside of the window of his plane, taking a picture of a plane next to him, because there was 12,000 planes that flew.
So this is a picture of Billy and his whole entire
crew,
and that's him right in the upper right-hand corner there. And these, if you watch any documentaries about D-Day, like World War II in color on Netflix, you'll see this plane, and you'll know Lucas's grandpa wasn't one of them. What's it like being the grandson of somebody who was in D-Day, and literally Omaha Beach is right behind us?
I don't know, that's crazy, because I can't even relate to, I guess, that bravery and courage. Like, I'd have to really see if I could do something like that, like be willing to basically risk it all and get up in a plane, especially when planes were pretty new technology.
Yeah.
And to have to be involved in such intense situations and stuff and leave your home and go so far away. So yeah, I don't know, it's amazing, pretty intense.
So these are all the landing beaches. So Omaha and Utah, that's the Americans landed there. And then Gold and Sword, I think, are British, and Juneau is Canadian, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
The thing about this beach is this is where Americans lost the most lives, and today it just looks like a beautiful beach. Anyway, we're about to go through the cemetery. It's going to show all the Americans that died on D-Day. Not all of them are buried here, only the ones whose families said it was okay for them to be buried in France. The rest got shipped back to the US. But we're going to walk through it and remember those who served and who helped secure, I guess, in what they said in the film, freedom for the world. So this is the cemetery. All these white crosses, and as you saw, the American flag, because it's the American cemetery. Lucas's grandpa did 63 missions in World War II and never died, which I think is
crazy.
That's just, yeah, that's really, really wild.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, these people died young, you know?
Not to mention, everyone in my grandpa's crew died on a flight later that he wasn't on. So people did die, obviously, and he just didn't, which is pretty crazy.
On D-Day in 1944, U.S. Rangers scaled the 90-foot cliffs to capture this area from the Germans. What? 90-foot cliffs? So we're going to go take a look at that. And I think they still have some guns or something from the German... I think they have German guns or something still too, so that'll be really interesting to see. Mm-hmm. It was really windy, as you could probably hear, but after the entrance, you can walk to the area where the cliffs are. On the way, you can still see the sites where some bombs exploded. This beach was gorgeous, and it was really hard to imagine everything that had happened here in 1944. They also still have some German bunkers that you can walk through and visit. Lucas also found a picture of the 9th Air Force Division on D-Day and realized one of the planes could have had his grandpa inside. On our way back to the car, we saw this awesome rainbow, and I said it must be his grandpa Billy Ray saying hi to us. So we were just at this area where it was so windy, so I hope my voiceover filled you in on what was going on. But Lucas shared the video of him, this video where he's standing there with his grandpa, and he's at Omaha Beach when his dad sat back and was like, "Oh, you made me cry." Anyway, so it's just been a very emotional day for everybody involved, and seeing all of this history, and then Lucas having that connection with it too. So now we're at Utah Beach, which is the other beach where the Americans landed on D-Day. This landing was a bit more successful in the fact that there were just less casualties. Of course, it started raining as soon as we got out of the car, but we were able to head to Utah Beach and see the spot where the other American troops landed on D-Day. This beach was extra special because this was the exact beach Lucas's grandpa flew over on D-Day. When we got inside the museum, we found out they had an entire exhibit on the 9th Division of the Air Force, the same one his grandpa Billy was in. They even had an actual B-26 airplane that flew on D-Day, the same exact type of airplane that Lucas's grandpa was a navigator and bombardier in. Okay, tell us about what's happening.
So we found at this museum they have the plane that is the same plane that my grandpa flew in. I don't know if this is the plane, but this is the same model. It's amazing.
It's so cool. Like, you can tell by the 3 stripes, the 1 propeller, and this like see-through part of the front, like identical to the pictures of Lucas's grandpa next to his plane. Also, this museum was closed when we came, but we showed the people at the front the pictures, and we were like, we just have to see the plane. And he's like, okay, you know, good excuse. So he let us in just to see the plane because Lucas's grandpa, hello, he flew in D-Day. This is one of the planes that did too. And here he is, folks. He is in front of the same B-26 plane that his grandpa was navigator in. Full circle, Lucas. Tell us what your dad said.
My dad said that they flew on Normandy at 5:30 a.m. on June 6th, which was the day of D-Day, so it would have been dark still when they were flying. My goodness.
Yep. Those are the size of the bombs that were dropped. Wow. I wonder where your grandpa sat in the plane, because he was the navigator and bomber.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where does the navigator and the bomber sit? Who knows? Okay, we just found this, and it said that the navigator station was number 2. So now we know where Lucas's grandpa sat in the plane. Wow. And this is the outfit that the people wore inside the B-26. So Lucas's grandpa wore this outfit. Okay, so Show us some of those pictures Dad has been sending.
He's been sending a bunch.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
Okay, here we go. Sent this one of the B-26, which is the one we just saw.
Yep.
And then he
These
sent...
are all from his grandpa.
Whoa!
Whoa.
There you go.
These are all from his grandpa's.
Hey, look, it's one of those hangars just like the one where that plane's in.
These are all from his grandpa's scrapbook.
Oh, those are mine. Hold on. Oh, yeah. We saw this one.
Yep.
I think we showed him that. And then here's their plane.
Their plane was called Pudd'nhead.
Pudd'nhead.
And his grandpa painted that on the side. His grandpa was an amazing artist, actually.
Yeah. They obviously went on a lot of missions, you can see. And then another one.
Oh my gosh, his
Which
grandpa's
he's up
upper
there.
left. Yep. Wow. That's the exact outfit, Lucas, that they had of the... This must be like a day before a mission, because that's the exact outfit they wore on the D-Day.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
It showed it in that museum.
Those are mine. These are just some letters and newspaper clippings.
Of what he wrote to his...
Here he is with my grandma.
His sweetheart. Look at them.
I think there's a cig in his hand.
Lucas said he smoked like 2 cigarette packs a day or something.
Yeah.
He died of lung cancer.
So there you go.
There you go. That was such a find. I can't believe they had an entire area dedicated to the 9th
That's
Air Force
crazy.
Division, which is the one your grandpa was in.
I know.
And the plane.
That really sealed the deal, I think.
Because there was a whole area in this museum. By the way, this museum is this is the Utah Beach Museum, and inside they have a whole area dedicated to the 9th Division of the Air Force. I think that's what it's called. But that's the one Lucas's grandpa was in, and so we got to learn so many more details about it, like...
Also I found out that after he flew over Utah Beach, he went back to England to get more ammo, essentially, and then flew
came
back.
We also learned that the 9th's major job was to try to bomb bridges, roadways, and any way that the German armed forces could make their way to help, basically.
Right.
And
They
that
did a good job.
his grandpa came to Utah Beach. That's where we are right now. So we got to walk on Utah Beach, as you saw, and it's so interesting and impactful. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a wild ride today. I think it'd be great for anybody to come visit these places, obviously, even if you don't have a connection. But having a connection is like even more powerful,
Just
I
to
think.
learn about history and what happened and stuff like that.
Yeah, wow. Heavy stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow, because now we're headed to Mont Saint Michel. I don't know how to say it, but
It's pretty good.
that'll be interesting too.
The next day, we drove the 1.5 hours to Mont Saint Michel, which is a tidal island with an abbey on the top from the 8th century. We checked into our hotel and got on a bus, the only way to reach the island, besides walking the 1.5 miles to get there. Once we got off the bus, we decided to sketch a little of Mont Saint Michel, and then we went onto the island to discover it.
Okay, now it's not so windy. Finally, we're inside of the... What was it? I call it a hill, but I don't think...
Mont Saint Michel.
Yeah. Basically what you do is you walk down a street. It's pretty obvious. There's only one. Up to the Abbey. And so that's what we've been doing. And it's very picturesque, and there's lots of really cute restaurants, and there's a lot of souvenir shops. But the restaurants, none of them have very good reviews. So I don't know if they're any good. They don't have vegan options, so we're not going to eat at them. But now we're going up a bunch of stairs. So if I'm out of breath a little bit. It's because we're going uphill. But the way down should be nice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some construction going on the Abbey, so sorry if it's a little loud, but Lucas is going to show us the way. There it is. Nice construction noises. Looks like
Individual on the right.
11 euros
Okay.
to go in.
You want to go in?
Yep,
You came here for it.
let's go. Look at you. You look like you're going into a medieval castle.
After we bought our tickets, we headed to the roof where you could see an epic view of Normandy and the surrounding areas. It was so windy, I couldn't believe this bird didn't just blow away. And then we headed inside.
We've made it inside the church.
We have.
Looks like a wooden roof, actually, which is interesting. And then
It actually has that vibe of a boat.
it does. It has a vibe to it. It's huge. Pretty big. Not the biggest we've ever seen. Maybe the tallest or the highest we've ever seen. He's going away. He's out. What'd you find?
This is like protected by glass, but probably not back in the day.
Yeah, and it's like,
It's so windy out there, you'd imagine it's
yeah.
it'd be crazy.
They call this area the cloisters. I don't know. Maybe this is where you ponder.
Like the bottom of boats.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then they don't look that old actually, these stained glass.
2 big fireplaces. This was the guest hall. What do you think? Big.
Must have had a lot of guests.
That's what I'm saying. And now we're in another room. It's huge, again. This place has so many twists and turns. It's so cool. It's very castle vibes, Harry Potter-esque. Where's Lucas? He's right there. There he is. All right, we're going into this small door. I don't know where it takes us. Just kidding, you gotta go down. So there's still construction, so if you hear anything loud, that's what's going on. But that was really cool. It felt like we were in some sort of medieval castle. Like, it's huge, and you get to go through all these rooms, and I think it's worth the trip to come here just because it's, I feel like, so unique, like with the hill and then the abbey at the top, and then the abbey is so old. They said it like dates back to, I don't remember, like what, 400 AD or something. It's really cool, and they have a little map. You don't have to buy the audio guide if you don't want to. They have a map that shows like each rooms and what they're for, and it was really neat. I think our trip to Normandy has been a success. I'll make sure to leave everything in the description so you guys can plan your trip to Normandy and all the things we're doing. D-Day was so cool yesterday. Lucas and I are still talking about how amazing it was, like that we were like detectives trying to figure out like where his grandpa was, where he was stationed, and like it was just so much fun to do. And then today, of course, like the picturesque city here, or I guess it's more of a village, and going through the abbey and everything has been really fun. So make sure to subscribe for more travel videos and like this video if you enjoyed. New videos coming. I'm trying to do 2 uploads now a week, which is really exciting and fun. So definitely subscribe, hit the bell button so you're notified about my uploads because they're all very exciting and very fun. And also, if you rent a car, this is an interesting tip. While I was renting a car, they said that there was a law that from November 1st through March 31st, you had to have either winter tires or tire chains on your rental car, and they charge you extra, which is really interesting. I didn't know about it, so the rental car guy, he like said, shh, don't tell anyone, and didn't charge me for it, but just know that there's an additional charge sometimes for a rental car in the winter times. You learn something new all the time. I mean, we've been full-time traveling for like 4 years, and that's never happened before, so you're learning constantly. Anyway, but it's been a very exciting adventure through Normandy. We are headed now to the Chateau Valley, like the place in France with the most concentrated chateaus, so the next vlogs are going to be epic, and we'll see you then. Bye.